rideshare company may be coming back to Austin.
UTSG supports the Black Lives Matter movement.
And see how McCombs is partnering with the VA.
We'll have more coming up on KVR News.
Broadcasting live from the Texas Student Television Studios at the University of Texas. You're watching KVR News at 9, Austin's leader for live local UT coverage. Your news starts right now.
Good evening and welcome back to KVR News. For Monday, November 21st, I'm Ashley Tsao.
And I'm Juarez. Thank you for joining us.
Law enforcement authorities defend their decision to use water hoses against Dakota Access Pipeline protesters in sub-freezing weather. Opponents of the pipeline say it will threaten the Standing Rock Tribe Reservation's water supply. Around 400 protesters were trying to push past a blocked bridge when police deployed water cannons, tear gas, and rubber bullets. Organizers say over 160 protesters have been injured and 7 are being treated at a hospital.
Protesters said they were trying to clear the bridge because it prevents emergency services from reaching the Standing Rock Sioux Reservation. As video of the violent confrontation appeared online, critics said the police used an excessive and potentially deadly use of force. However, the Morton County Sheriff's Department called the situation aggressive and an ongoing riot. The federal government, who owns the last piece of land the pipeline must build on, said they are delaying construction until further analysis.
Austin residents held their own rally in opposition of the Dakota Access Pipeline construction. The group started at the Texas Capitol before heading towards the Chase Building on 6th and Colorado Street. Austin police were forced to close some of these streets during rush hour. One protester explains why he marched in solidarity with the Standing Rock Sioux tribe.
It's water, it's sacred space, it's the environment, it's environmental racism, it's oil. It's the marginalization of indigenous rights. All of those things come together on one issue. Who doesn't want to come out?
President-elect Donald Trump agreed to pay $25 million to settle 3 lawsuits against Trump University, a real estate training program. Past students filed fraud lawsuits against the university, claiming the institution did not follow through with its promises. Previously, Trump vowed that he would not settle the lawsuit, claiming he had done nothing wrong. However, the president-elect said he was willing to sacrifice his personal interest in order to move forward. This move ensures Trump will not be called to court during his presidential transition.
Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced the company is taking steps to address deliberately false news stories. The social media company will develop new tools to detect misinformation and make it easier for users to report false news. Facebook will also look into partnering with fact-checking organizations to evaluate content and flag fake stories with warning labels. This decision comes after criticism that fake news stories may have swayed people to vote for Trump.
A Harvard study conducted by Professor Thomas Patterson finds that incredible news outlets' policy issues are nearly absent in presidential campaign coverage. Patterson's team studied 10 major outlets for a month, and only 4% of Hillary's coverage was based on policy. 8 people were arrested after White Lives Matter and Black Lives Matter protesters clashed at the state capitol. This occurred after Governor Greg Abbott dedicated a monument honoring the contributions African Americans made to Texas. Members of the White Lives Matter group attended the memorial to protest hate crime laws. In response, hundreds of counter-protesters chanted "Nazis get out." One Austinite shared his thoughts on the protest.
I'm here really because of the counter-protest. If there wasn't a counter-protest, I wouldn't have come out here. I don't think it's right for me to be called a Nazi for saying that my life matters, his life matters, his life matters. I think there's a big double standard, and I don't think I should be called a Nazi for saying that my life matters.
The Texas Education Agency told schools they must enroll every eligible student with disabilities in special education classes. This decision comes after the U.S. Department of Education ordered the TEA to end an 8.5% benchmark on special education enrollment, the lowest percent in the country. The state agency claimed that the benchmark was not an enrollment cap and that schools misinterpreted the 8.5% figure. A new policy has been implemented saying schools will not be penalized for the number of students in special ed classes.
The City of Austin is launching a free textile recycling program. Starting December 5th, Austin residents will receive green bags from the Simple Recycling Company. Clothes, kitchenware, shoes, and toys can be recycled through the program. The items will be sorted and attempted to be sold. The remaining items will be broken down into new materials. What remains will be recycled. The City of Austin implemented this program to achieve its zero waste goal by 2040.
Austin Resource Recovery did a waste study last year that found that more than 3,000 tons of textiles are going to the landfills each year in Austin. So we're really aiming to get those materials out of the landfill and find ways to reuse them instead.
Tonight on KVR News,
UT students march against the Dakota pipeline,
protesters clash at the unveiling of an African American monument,
and see how a new Austin program encourages textile recycling.
You're watching KVR News, your leader for live, local UT coverage.
Have a news tip or story idea? Call the KVR News tip line, 475-8181.
The ride-sharing company Uber may return to Austin. The company left Austin in May after opposing the city's fingerprinting regulations. Uber's public affair lead for Texas, Trevor Tennyson, says the company is willing to negotiate with City Council in a discussion on how to move forward. Tennyson says the company says Austin is a city Uber needs to be in. However, former City Council member Laura Morrison says Uber needs to use fingerprint background checks if they want to operate in Austin. Tennyson says there is a lot of work to be done, but hopes Uber returns to the state capitol in the near future. Sabra Dipping Company issued a nationwide voluntary recall for their hummus products in case of possible listeria contamination last weekend. Central Texas saw similar recalls in San Antonio H-E-B. The store announced a precautionary recall of its entire H-E-B baby food 2-pack cups. A shopper called customer service to inform of small rubber piece in a cup. It has been ruled as an isolated incident, while Sabra's manufacturing facility tested positive for Listeria monocytogenes, which can be deadly.
Protests after the election of President-elect Donald Trump swept the nation. Here in Austin alone, anti-Trump protests continued for 3 days after Super Tuesday. Artists who aren't willing to physically take the streets to protest use a creative outlet instead. UT professor Eric Drott specializes in protest music and outlined what protest art does for the community.
Singing is not going to help if you start getting tear gassed or anything like that. Psychologically, it can help create a kind of sense that you are part of something that's bigger than yourself and therefore stronger than the individual can be.
UT student government passed a resolution in support of the Black Lives Matter movement 23-0, with 3 members abstaining. While this legislation passed with little opposition, AR 15, a resolution in support of disbanding the Young Conservatives of Texas, was debated for over an hour across 2 separate meetings. UTSG members wrote AR 15 after YCT held an affirmative action bake sale, charging different prices based on one's ethnicity. Supporters of the bill said YCT's actions were discriminatory and hurtful. However, the opposition explained banning YCT would violate the freedom of speech. Ultimately, UTSG failed to pass the resolution by a vote of 26-4, with 2 members abstaining.
A program at the Macomb School of Business will team up with the Department of Veteran Affairs to improve services for veterans. The relationship will assist the VA's efforts to increase efficiency and reduce fraud. The collaboration marks the first of its kind between the FSC and an academic institution. The partnership will continue for 3 years and is expected to drive innovation and analytics through field research such as healthcare analytics.
Texas 4000, an organization founded in 2004 by UT students, provided free skin cancer screenings last Wednesday in the Texas Union. According to the Skin Cancer Foundation, 1 in 5 Americans will develop some type of skin cancer, but with early detection and treatment, most skin cancers are curable. Texas 4000 focuses on spreading awareness, fundraising, and making cancer prevention efforts available. The group selects students every year for an 18-month program that culminates in a 4,000-mile charity bike ride from Texas all the way to Alaska. Dr. Kara Young, who performed the screening, said having preventative visits are important so you can recognize when something is going wrong.
Well, Ashley, it's mid-November, but I think that we can finally say that summer's over now that we've been seeing a few more cooler days.
I know, it's nice to finally feel a breeze when I'm walking to class. It's definitely my ideal fall weather, and I love it even if it's a little bit late.
Well, our Claudia Jimenez is live in the weather studio to let us know what to expect during the Thanksgiving holidays. Claudia?
Plan to go outside and toss a football around on Thanksgiving Day. There will be sunny skies all day. Stay tuned for this week's weather after the break.
Now, KVR News at 9 Sports.
Here in Austin, we've warmed up a little from the weekend and are looking forward to colder days. Today was warm and sunny with a high of 77 and a low of 61. Tuesday, there is a high chance of rain at night. Make sure to pack a raincoat and prepare for a low of 56 as well as a high of 75. Wednesday, we'll have a high of 71 with sunny skies and a low of 47. Thanksgiving Day will be mostly sunny with a high near 73, and at night there is a 20% chance of rain and a low around 53. Friday has a high of 68 and a low of 49 with mostly cloudy skies. Saturday's temperature drops down to a high near 68 and a low around 56. Sunday will be partly sunny with a high of 75 and a low of 52. Looks like this week is going to be another hot one. Thankfully, by the middle of next week, it'll finally be getting cold. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, Longhorns. Live from the Weather Center, Claudia Jimenez.
Thanks, Claudia.
College Press Box's Katarina Biancardi will be in the studio to talk Longhorn sports after the break. Stay tuned.
You're watching KVR News at 9. Your campus, your news.
Welcome back to KVR News. Texas football fell to the Kansas Jayhawks 24-21 on Saturday, and Texas moves to 5-6 on the season. The Longhorns' loss to Kansas was quite historic. The Jayhawks were 0-13 versus the Longhorns since the formation of the Big 12, and Saturday's victory was their first win over Texas since 1938. The Texas Longhorn Athletic Department has been difficult situations press regarding Coach Charlie Strong's future on the 40 acres. TSTV's own Eric Goodman was at Coach Strong's press conference earlier today.
Charlie Strong will get one more chance to play for his job as Longhorns head football coach. University President Greg Fenves and Athletic Director Mike Perrin told Strong that his future at Texas will be evaluated after Friday's season finale against TCU. Strong addressed the media moments ago here in the Centennial Room at Texas Memorial Stadium and had powerful words in support of his players and himself.
When you look at the recruiting classes that we've put together and you look at the young men now that are in the program, I mean, you got a guy right now that's finalist for the Ray Guy Award. You have a running back who's going to win the Doak Walker Award. You have a lineman that's up for a special award, and all those guys are young guys. So, and then you look within the program, the character and class that they exhibit and how they carry themselves. And so when you go back to that, then you know this, that the program is going and is heading in the right direction. This group of guys is going to win a national championship. I said it to them. That group of guys will win a national, and I feel strong about that statement.
Strong came into the weekend with the worst winning percentage by a head coach in school history, but even still, all signs pointed to Strong retaining his job for a fourth season. That was until the Longhorns fell on the road to Kansas on Saturday. The Jayhawks hadn't beaten an FBS opponent since 2014 and hadn't beaten Texas since before World War II. Many called it the kind of loss that gets a coach fired, and while that may prove to be the case in a week's time, for now, Charlie Strong and only Charlie Strong is the Longhorns coach. From Texas Memorial Stadium, I'm Eric Goodman, College Press Box.
Katarina, certainly there's a lot at stake for Coach Charlie Strong. As he mentioned, Texas is going to face TCU right here on Friday in Austin. And what's this game going to mean for the Texas program?
Well, what this game means for the Texas program is that the stakes are completely high. Now, a win means Texas becomes bowl eligible, but a loss means Charlie Strong is definitely done at Texas. So regardless of a win or a loss, the state of Texas football remains in limbo.
All right, thanks for joining us, Katarina. And now our Nancy Hernandez has your entertainment news. What's going on in Hollywood, Nancy?
We recap last night's American Music Awards, Kanye West cancels the Saint Pablo Tour, and the cast of That's So Raven revived. Stay tuned. We have all this coming up after the break.
You're watching KVR News at 9. Your campus, your news.
Teamed up to co-host this year's 2016 American Music Awards. Bruno Mars kicked off the show with his latest hit, 24K Magic. Drake led the way with a record 13 nominations and won Favorite Rap Hip Hop Album. The Six God also scored a big moment on the debut of a new Apple Music commercial, featuring him working out to Taylor Swift, Bad Blood. Selena Gomez returned to the spotlight after taking a break to focus on her health. The artist won Favorite Female Artist, Pop Rock, and she thanked her fans for being so loyal. Green Day's performance made a political statement with repeated chants of no Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA. Ariana Grande took home Artist of the Year, and a performance by Maroon 5 and Kendrick Lamar wrapped up the show. And how could you be so heartless? Kanye West performed at his concert in Sacramento, California for only 30 minutes before storming out. West left 13,000 fans furious and wanting refunds. Just before leaving the stage, West ranted about Beyonce and Jay-Z. West accused Beyonce of saying she refused to perform at the 2016 MTV Music Awards unless her formation beat him and Drake in Video of the Year, which it did. The couple has made no comment, and West canceled the remaining shows on the Saint Pablo Tour early this morning in a statement released by his publicist. Sources say he is currently taking time off to work on personal issues. And the future's looking bright for you That's So Raven fans, but not so much for actor Orlando Brown. The character Eddie has been recasted by YouTube star Alonso Larone for the That's So Raven reboot. And Orlando had some things to say about it. The 28-year-old posted a video saying Disney fans might be disappointed with that decision. Aside from Orlando not returning, Annalise Vanderpool, who plays Raven's best friend Chelsea, is expected to return.
Thanks, Nancy, and thank you for tuning in.
For updates throughout the week, you can follow us on Twitter at KVR News. I'm Ashley Tsao.
And I'm Sierra Juarez. Stay tuned for College Press Box up next on Texas Student Television. Have a great night.